Hey guys, thank you so much for coming back to my channel. It's Nico here, and I just wanted to go ahead and I wanted to take you through my new eyebrow tutorial. Now, for me, my eyebrows are 100% the most important thing on my face. If I can only leave the house with one thing of makeup on my face, it is 100% my brows. That is why I got them microbladed. However, my microblading is falling out a little bit and sometimes I gotta touch them up, or if I want a bolder look or whatever to just kind of match my makeup, then that's what I'll do. But for those of you that maybe you can't afford going and getting your eyebrows microbladed, which I totally get, or are afraid or you're scared to do it because you think it's really permanent, I can guarantee you it is not a permanent thing. I'm struggling right now with my eyebrows not being permanent enough. If it's something that you're deterred about, or if you want to ask me more questions about microblading or my experience with it or anything like that, it was a really positive experience. I've just found that they aren't lasting as long as I would like them to, and that really sucks, but nonetheless, it was still worth it. 100% still worth it for me. I had a great experience. My heal time was really good, all of that. So if you do have any questions about it, just feel free to shoot me a message and I'd be more than happy to answer those questions. But other than that, yeah, the whole kind of look that I'm going for and always seem to go for is that natural look. I understand that there are a lot of like makeup people or Instagram accounts or whatever, like beauty gurus. So when they fill in their eyebrows, they really, like, they have like a defined line and the ends, their tails are really dark, really defined, really chiseled out with like concealer and stuff. And that is not personally a look that I like. It is beautiful, it can look very beautiful, it's very glam, but it is not me, it's not every day. Even if I were to be doing a full glam look, there's nothing that I love more than offsetting it with some big, fluffy, natural looking eyebrows. So that's kind of always been my goal. So if your goal is to make your eyebrows look thicker, fuller, longer, fixing bald spots, or if you don't have a tail or whatever, if you overplucked them or something and you want your eyebrows to look the most natural that they can, then keep watching because I'm about to show you the best thing ever, okay? So let's get started and I'll see you in a second. Alright, so as you can see, some of my microblading is falling out. It's a little bit easier to see on this side. So the whole thing with microblading is that if you have really dry skin, it's actually supposed to last longer. I think that because my skin is so dry that my issue with like skin flaking or having dry flecks or whatever is part of the big problem, and it's actually kind of just pushing and renewing my skin turnover so often that it's actually pushing out the ink. I'm not an expert by any means whatsoever. My fallout has been happening really quickly. It is still an annoying factor. One of my all-time favorite products to use has been the Anastasia Brow Wiz, which I'm sure that many people are familiar with. A great and affordable dupe for that is the NYX pencil. I have the color taupe, probably the closest that I've ever gotten to an exact dupe for it. However, this new product that I feel like not nearly enough people are talking about, and that I have fallen so far in love with for the style of brow that I like to have, is the new MAC Shape and Shade Brow Tint. So another thing that I'm loving about this product here is that mostly I am just using this part right here, but it's because these fake microblading, fake hair looking super thin buildable strokes. And I originally purchased taupe because I thought, oh good, like a universal neutral sort of color. In all of the online things, it looks like it's darker, but it's actually not. It's very pale. It was super hard to build up the color of it. So I went back and I actually got the color Fling, which I didn't think was gonna be a thing. I do remember back when I used like the retractable ones, I used to use Lingering, I believe. But anyway, the shade that I use in this is Fling, and it's perfect. This other side has like this powdery stuff, and then this little, not like a brush, but it's like a little mini sponge, pomade powdery kind of product. I don't really use that. So what I will do here is I brush my eyebrows up. I'm actually gonna go ahead and I'm gonna do this side first because I have the most fallout of my microblading in this eyebrow, as you can see. So there. Okay, so it looks a little bit intense when you first do it just because it is a wet product. It has like that wet sort of shine to it. It will dry and it won't look quite as aggressive. But there, I just added in a few strokes just to kind of straighten out that bottom line. And yeah, this does take a little bit of a delicate hand. And it does take some getting used to. If you do it like really lightly and quickly, it honestly looks better than if you do it really slow, because if you're doing it slow, the chances of you putting too much pressure on are kind of higher. But I do like to just do a couple of my thicker strokes initially, just so that I can kind of get it formulated and then add more of those like natural looking ones. And then I'm just gonna push down and we're gonna go in a different direction now. So your natural hair at the top will grow sideways, and then right over here it's gonna go down, like they go down into it. So we're gonna follow your natural hair. This is exactly what they would do for microblading as well. And I'm just rebuilding my arch that has kind of disappeared. The first day that I played around with this, maybe like the first 1 to 3 tries were kind of a little bit more hectic. I had to get used to this style. It did feel a little bit overwhelming, but honestly, just sit, and you're not planning on going out or anything like that. You just want to play with it. Just play with it a little bit. I love this. This is what my eyebrows look like right after they get freshly microbladed. If you wanted to and you wanted to make it look even bigger and bushier and more natural, I think that the way that that looks more natural is when you add your longer hairs right up here. Like that's where your fluff comes in. Now if you accidentally do something and you think they look a little bit too intense, you can just take a brush that has a spoolie on it, just really lightly brush them, because it will fade it out a little bit. It'll take away a little bit of that aggressive intensity. And then right after that is when I will put an eyebrow gel on, or like the L'Oreal. I'm just gonna use the L'Oreal one today. Such an important part that people don't seem to really use is putting this little brow gel on your brows. Helps thicken them, helps hold them in place, makes the other makeup on your brow look more natural, and I think that that's just really the whole point. So yeah, these are my thicker, fluffier, more predominant brows, and as you can see in direct comparison, like, it is a lot more intense. If you want it to look even more natural, which is actually something that I do, I feel like for this I kind of feel like maybe I went a little bit overboard. If you want to add more over here or in your bald spots or whatever, you just want to add a couple of strokes and then leave this area right here a little bit more sparse. Leaving your front part will create more of like a natural effect, obviously. Here, I'll try and do it a bit more on this side, but I'm just gonna kind of skip through and show you the end product of that, okay? Okay, so for one thing, I do realize that they're currently uneven. This side is just like a little bit stronger and more bold. This side is a little bit more natural, especially the front part over here. And that's just kind of up to you and what kind of style that you like. Alright guys, so that is it. That is everything. That is my new updated brows. I love this. I love this product. I believe that there's like 5 or 6 different shades of this. There is lighter ones or more auburny kind of tones, and then there is a darker one as well. That's the shade Spiked, which I almost got, but I didn't want it to go too crazy. But yeah, I think that the Fling, which is the one that I bought, is the perfect shade for me, and it matches my roots perfectly. People always think that these are just my natural brows. So I love that. That's really cool for me. And I hope that this was helpful for you guys and that you enjoyed. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.